Hey everyone, it is Monday morning and it's time for Motivational Monday. My name is Christopher Donnell and I'm one of the pastors at Urbana UMC. And today's Motivational Monday was kind of nostalgic for me because I was watching the Field of Dreams game this past weekend, and I just was really moved by the whole scene. And if you don't know, Field of Dreams is a movie. Kevin Costner. It's about a farmer named Ray who builds this baseball diamond in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa on his farm in order to connect with some old baseball legends from the Chicago White Sox team. But the moment ends up being really bigger than baseball, and it connects Ray to his dad, and they end up throwing catch in the end, and it's about reconnecting their relationship and what that meant to them. But baseball brought them together. So the Field of Dreams game, I think it was Friday night, and they basically created the stadium in Iowa, and they played a major league game with the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. And the players walk out of the cornfield onto the field just like in the movie. And it was a lot more moving than I thought it would be. I was kind of taken back how misty-eyed I was because Ken Griffey Jr., a former Reds player, great ball player, walks out of the field and then starts playing catch with his dad, Ken Griffey Sr., who was also a great Red. And it was just a really cool moment to see, this father-son duo playing catch just because it's fun, not because they had a game to win or an objective, but it was bigger than just the game that was happening there. And Joey Votto, another baseball player for the Reds, said the same thing, that he remembered when his dad played catch when they were 9 years old, when he was 9 years old, and his dad has been gone for 14 years now, and he kind of talked about reminiscing, being on that field reminded him of that moment of playing catch with his dad. And it got me thinking, so here's the motivation, it got me thinking about how much bigger those moments were than baseball. You have these, this major league game, you have these $1 million contracts and all this money and support and sponsorships that goes into these things, and these talented athletes that work so hard. But then you have this moment that's bigger than all that. It means family, it means connection, it means relationships are the most important thing. And it got me thinking, don't we do that with all of our moments? I mean, I'm not a professional baseball player, but I have a job, I have a career, I have all these things that I have to do, and I go from moment to moment. And sometimes you can go from moment to moment, but miss the bigger moments that lie in between. I have the privilege of being a dad and a husband, and I can be too focused sometimes, going from task to task just to get kids somewhere or to do the right thing, to make sure there's groceries in the refrigerator or whatever the task is, or mowing the lawn or whatever it is that's going on, that I can forget why I'm doing those things or who I'm doing them for, like my wife or my kids. And those are the moments that are bigger, not just baseball, but bigger than owning a home or having a career or having a job. It's bigger than that. And I think we can forget our why sometimes when we go from moment to moment and forget why we do what we do. And that moment on TV when Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad were throwing catch, it just reminded me that there are bigger moments than just making ends meet, just working 9 to 5. Just having entertainment. There's a bigger why there. And so my challenge to you and to myself is, don't just go from the next moment to the next moment. Remember your why. Remember what's bigger than whatever you're doing right now. God calls us to live a life of intentionality and purpose. He's promised to always be with us, even when, good times and bad times. But remind yourself of why we chose to follow Jesus, why we chose to have a family, why we chose to have a job, or why we're still here. It's important to remember the why, because we can get lost in that translation from moment to moment. And those big moments that I was watching on the Field of Dreams game reminded me, and I hope it reminds you and motivates you, that there's always something more. And especially with God, there's always more. And I think it's the idea that we have to continue to press in, we have to pursue Him, we have to continue learning We have to be in community with people that are going to challenge us and help us and support us along that, because life's hard enough, and we don't want to just go from moment to moment with kind of with our eyes closed and just hoping we make it, right? We have to live a life of intentionality and purpose. In those moments where you can take a big scene or a setting like that, a Major League Baseball game, and just have a catch with your dad, it reminds you of relationships. It reminds you of the why that we're here and why we continue to do what we do. So hopefully that's motivating to you. Hopefully you can look for that moment today that reminds you of why you're doing it, whatever it is, your job, your relationships, your calling. Hopefully you can see that why today, and if not, pause and ask God to show it to you. And he is faithful, and to ask that question, even if you don't get the answer right away, continue just to ask it, pray about it, ponder it. And I have a good sense that God will reveal that to you in due time. So hopefully it's motivating to you. Hopefully you can think about Field of Dreams and remind that there is something bigger than just baseball, but there's things that are bigger than life as well. So we love you. We're praying for you.